Hi, it's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. In the last few videos, we've been talking all about how the language that you use really makes a big difference in your life and in your actions. And we're going to continue on that theme here. So I want to talk about some of the key phrases that I hear a lot that might actually be holding you back. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you're saying these to yourself regularly, they are holding you back. And I'm not immune to this either. You know, I've had to do my own work with some of these things. So I want to share them with you and then share some ways that you can start to replace that language with other language that's actually going to help you move forward towards your goals. So here's the first one. The first one is, I don't have time, or I didn't have time, right? When we say this, and I used to say this all the time too, I didn't have time for that, I don't have time for this. What we're doing is we're kind of at the mercy of everything around us. Instead, a long time ago, I started saying something else. I started saying, I didn't prioritize this, right? Or this isn't a priority for right now. So it's not that I don't have time, it's that I am actually not prioritizing this thing. And that gave me a lot of agency. That helps me kind of take back control. So the next time that you find yourself saying, I don't have time, what if you flip that on your head and you say, I'm not prioritizing this? Because we want to be able to do the things that are the most important to us. We can't do everything, right? And so how do you use that prioritization to give yourself back some agency? All right, the next one that I hear a lot is, I'm bad at whatever it is that comes next. So I'm bad at time management. I'm bad at organization. I'm bad at, checking my email too much. I'm bad at whatever it is, right? And I think this is some phrasing that we're just used to using, and it can be pretty detrimental to us. And the reason is that when we say I'm bad at, we are attributing that to our own selves. We're thinking it's something that's innate, that we're just not good at this thing, that we can't improve, right? Now, instead, you can say to yourself, well, I need to practice this, right? So if you're bad at something, it's not that you're going to be bad forever. It's that you need to practice it so that you can get better, right? So it's not as though you can't change. If you've read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, she talks about fixed mindset, where we believe that our skills and all of this are innate to us and they're fixed. They're not going to move. They're not going to change. And then there are people who have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is where we believe that we can change. We believe that we can grow. These are not fixed, right? You can choose to have either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. You can cultivate a growth mindset. But when you believe that you can, in fact, get better through practice, that means that, really the sky's the limit for you. So you can continue to get better. It's not that you're bad at something. It's that you're not good at it yet, right? You will be eventually if you keep working on it. Now, another one that I hear a lot is, I can't, or it's not going to work. And this can be for, it's kind of our gut reaction to a lot of things. Maybe because of some, past information that we had, maybe because of some fear that we have around, other people, what they might think. Maybe it just, we're so overwhelmed that we just feel stuck. We just can't, right? And so we say to ourselves, I can't. And in fact, when we say that, we are putting ourselves at a disadvantage, right? When we say we can't, we're not looking about what we can do, right? So if you're finding yourself saying, I can't, or this won't work, I want you to ask yourself some questions instead. What if you ask yourself, why can't I, right? Maybe we could get a little more granular there. What if you ask yourself, who says, right? Who says I can't? Right? What if the reason you're saying I can't or it won't work is because there are other people involved and you think that they're not going to be amenable to whatever this plan or this change is? What about just asking them, right? Something that I learned from my mom a long, long time ago was, you don't get what you don't ask for. And so you might as well ask. If you ask, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? Well, you're going to be, back in the position you were at before you asked, right? So if you're saying I can't, I want you to be like a scientist. Ask yourself some questions, get curious around why you think you can't, because that might actually open up some other possibilities. And now the fourth and final phrase that I hear a lot and that I think doesn't serve people very well is, I failed. I failed. I didn't meet that goal. I failed. I didn't do this. I failed. I let myself down. I failed, right? And I think this concept of failure, we can turn it around a little bit, right? Because if you feel like you failed, then you probably still did learn something. So was it a complete and total failure where nothing at all was learned? Not usually, right? Now, if you can learn something from it, then is it even a failure, right? Isn't it just making progress towards the thing that you wanted to do and towards that goal? And so I would suggest that if you're thinking I failed, it's okay to wallow and be upset for a little while. We are humans after all. But after you've given yourself just a little bit of time to wallow in your own feelings and feel sad about whatever failure or disappointment it is, then ask yourself some questions. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Ask yourself, what could I do better next time? Ask yourself, is there anything good that happened out of this? Is there actually something that I did really well, even if I didn't, make it to the final goal, because I could double down on that later? So if we think of ourselves as learning and not failing, well, then we really haven't failed. We've just made progress at a goal that we will eventually reach someday if we keep trying. And so I want you to think about which of these phrases comes up most often for you. Which one do you use a lot? And if you think about that, then say, okay, which one of these phrases could I swap out? How could I change this? And just see if that makes a difference for me. Now, I've been continuing to do this like Language Matters series. And if you want to keep getting content that's very similar to this, just go ahead and subscribe here. And that'll make sure that you see all of my videos, which I release every week.
Hello, editor here. Just want to quickly say drop a like and subscribe because as you can see, only 8% of our viewers are subscribed. Thank you.